How to build a successful mindset and achieve prosperity. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others work twice as hard and still stay stuck? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not even about having the right connections. It's about something deeper, something invisible, something built long before the results appear. It's your mindset. Because prosperity doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your thoughts. And today, I'm going to help you understand how to build a successful mindset that doesn't just make you wealthier, but makes you unstoppable. This is not theory. It's the real psychology behind abundance, drawn from neuroscience, positive psychology, and the habits of real millionaires who built wealth from nothing. So, if you're ready to reprogram your thinking, expand your potential, and align yourself with prosperity on every level of life, then stay until the end. Because once you understand what I'm about to share, you'll never see success the same way again. Topic 1. The foundations of a successful mindset. Everything you want in life, success, freedom, prosperity, peace, begins in one place, your mind. The mind is the architect of reality. Before you see success in your bank account, before you touch abundance in your external world, it must first exist in the architecture of your thoughts. But here's the truth most people never hear. It's not your goals, talents, or education that determine your destiny. It's your mindset, the lens through which you interpret every challenge, every opportunity, and every setback. A successful mindset isn't built overnight. It's a process of mental conditioning, a training of perception, emotion, and focus. It's about mastering how you think when no one is watching, what you say to yourself when no one hears, and what you choose to believe when everything seems uncertain. Because your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. When you learn to control your inner world, your outer world begins to obey. Think about the people who have changed the course of history. Elon Musk sleeping on the factory floor during Tesla's darkest days. Oprah Winfrey being told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs getting fired from his own company before coming back to revolutionize it. These stories have one thing in common. Not talent, not resources, not luck, but resilience of mind. Each of these people had the mental strength to stay aligned with their vision when the world screamed impossible. That's the power of a successful mindset. It transforms rejection into fuel, pain into purpose, and obstacles into opportunities. Most people underestimate how much their inner dialogue dictates their destiny. When you constantly repeat stories of limitation, I can't, I'm not ready, it's too hard, your subconscious mind obeys. It filters your reality to match that belief. Neuroscience proves this. Your reticular activating system, a tiny network in your brainstem, literally filters the information you perceive based on what you believe is important. If you focus on scarcity, your brain highlights lack. If you focus on opportunity, your brain starts seeing doors where others see walls. That's not philosophy, that's biology. You become what you repeatedly focus on. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant, doubt or belief, fear or faith, will eventually grow into your reality. That's why successful people are intentional about what they feed their minds. They don't consume negativity, gossip, or distractions. They protect their attention like it's gold, because it is. Attention is the new currency of success. Whatever owns your attention owns your future. Here's a paradox that every millionaire eventually discovers. The higher you rise, the simpler your mind becomes. True prosperity isn't born from chaos. It's born from clarity. The wealthiest people in the world aren't the ones with the busiest schedules or the most possessions. They're the ones with mental simplicity. They focus on a few things that matter most and ignore everything else. Warren Buffett famously says he built his fortune by saying no to almost everything. Steve Jobs said the same. Focus means saying no 1,000 times. Simplicity is not a lack of ambition. It's the ultimate sophistication. It allows your energy to flow directly into what truly creates results. Minimalism in the mind leads to prosperity in life. When your thoughts are organized, your emotions are calm, and your energy is directed. Success becomes inevitable. Because the universe doesn't respond to confusion. It responds to clarity, conviction, and consistency. Every time you choose focus over distraction, discipline over comfort, and gratitude over complaint, You are reprogramming your neural patterns to align with abundance. Over time, that becomes your identity. You no longer chase success, you embody it. Building a successful mindset also means mastering emotional intelligence, the ability to stay grounded when things go wrong. Look at how the world's top investors think. When markets crash, they don't panic. They breathe, they analyze, they act from logic, not emotion. They understand that fear is temporary, but opportunity is eternal. That's not luck, it's trained composure. A calm mind sees solutions that a chaotic one misses. In the same way, if you learn to manage your emotions, to stay centered even when storms come, you'll navigate life like a professional, focused, confident, and unshakable. But here's where the real transformation begins. Responsibility. The moment you stop blaming external circumstances for your results, your life starts changing. When you accept that you are both the cause and the solution, you unlock your full creative power. That's when you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Every day becomes a new opportunity to design your future, one decision at a time. That's how mental wealth compounds, not in big leaps, but in small, consistent choices. The decision to read instead of scroll, to think before reacting, to keep going instead of giving up. Each moment strengthens your inner foundation, and perhaps the most important element of all, belief. Without belief, no strategy will work. With belief, even imperfect actions create miracles. The mind must be convinced before the body moves. If you don't believe you deserve prosperity, your subconscious will sabotage your efforts. That's why so many people work hard but stay stuck. They're fighting against their own programming. Rebuilding that belief system takes daily repetition. Affirmations, visualization, gratitude, focus. These are not cliches. They are neurological reprogramming tools. They change the chemistry of your brain over time, turning abundance into your natural state. Remember this, the mind is always listening. Every word you speak, every thought you entertain, every feeling you hold, it's shaping your future. You cannot create a prosperous life with a poor mindset. The two frequencies don't match. The universe only amplifies the energy you emit. So, if you want more prosperity, start vibrating at the level of success before it arrives. Think like the person you want to become. Act like them, feel like them, and reality will catch up. A successful mindset isn't built in a single meditation or one motivational video. It's built in the quiet, consistent moments when no one's cheering. It's built when you choose growth over comfort, when you invest in your learning instead of your excuses, when you believe in yourself even when no one else does. That's how millionaires, innovators, and world changers are made, from the inside out. Because in the end, success isn't something you pursue. It's something you allow, by aligning your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the frequency of abundance. When you think better, you feel better. When you feel better, you act better. And when you act better, your entire life transforms. You don't need to chase prosperity. You need to become the kind of person who naturally attracts it. And that begins, right now, with one decision: to build a successful mindset, no matter what. Topic 2. The power of belief and self-programming. Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. It can be your greatest ally or your biggest enemy, depending on how it's programmed. And the truth is, every single day, you're programming it, whether you know it or not. Every thought, every emotion, every statement you repeat silently to yourself is a command to your subconscious. It listens without judgment and obeys without question. If you constantly say, "I'm not good with money," your subconscious quietly agrees. It makes choices that confirm it. You'll procrastinate, miss opportunities, or sabotage your progress without realizing it. But if you start saying, "I'm learning how to master money," your brain starts finding evidence to support that too. The mind doesn't care whether your beliefs are true or false. It only cares whether they're consistent. That's the law of belief. What you believe long enough becomes your reality. That's why successful people guard their beliefs like gold. They know that everything visible in their lives once existed as an invisible idea in their minds. They don't wait to believe until they see results. They believe first, and then the results follow. This is not blind optimism. It's neuroscience. The brain cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. When you visualize success with enough emotion, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins aligning your behavior to match it. Thomas Edison believed light was possible when the world lived in darkness. Henry Ford believed cars could be accessible to everyone when people said it was impossible. Oprah Winfrey believed her voice mattered when society told her it didn't. Every great story of prosperity begins with someone who dared to believe something new and held that belief long enough for it to become real. So the question is, what are you believing right now? About yourself, about success, about money, about life? Because those beliefs are creating the invisible walls that define your world. Most people live trapped in mental prisons built from inherited beliefs. They don't even know whose thoughts they're thinking. They absorb them from parents, schools, religion, and culture, often from people who never achieved prosperity themselves. You cannot live a life of abundance with a mind programmed for limitation. That's why self-reprogramming is essential. Reprogramming your mind means taking conscious control of what goes in and what stays out. It means replacing toxic thoughts with empowering ones. It means catching the moment you say, "I can't," and changing it to, "I'm learning how." It's simple, but not easy, because your brain loves familiarity. It prefers the comfort of old patterns, even when those patterns are painful. But if you persist, your new beliefs start taking root. Bit by bit, they overwrite the old code. Your inner dialogue becomes your most powerful manifestation tool. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through daily repetition. Repetition is the mother of reprogramming. The subconscious learns through emotion and frequency, not logic. That's why affirmations, when done correctly, are not childish. They are psychological reconditioning. Every time you repeat, "I am capable, I am abundant, I am worthy," you are literally carving new neural pathways. The more emotion you attach to those words, the faster the brain rewires. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Spiritual teachers call it faith. They're describing the same process, the transformation of belief into biology. Visualization is another key. When you vividly imagine yourself living your desired reality, feeling it, seeing it, hearing it, your brain begins mapping it as familiar territory. You start recognizing opportunities that align with that vision. You take actions that match your imagined success. Over time, what was once fantasy becomes a memory of the future. The same process that creates fear creates faith. The only difference is what you focus on. But belief alone is not enough. It must be embodied. You have to feel prosperous before prosperity shows up. You have to walk like someone who already believes in their value. That energetic shift is magnetic. The universe, through people, situations, and coincidences, starts responding to your new vibration. That's why confident people attract opportunities. Their energy tells the world, "I'm ready," and the world listens. Still, let's be real. Reprogramming takes courage. It means confronting your old stories, the ones you've been carrying for years. "I'll never make it. I'm too old. I'm not smart enough." Those aren't facts. They're beliefs that have been rehearsed so often that they feel true. But truth and familiarity are not the same thing. The moment you challenge them, they start to lose power. The moment you choose a new belief, you start writing a new story. Many self-made millionaires say the biggest breakthrough wasn't when they made their first million. It was when they realized they were worthy of it. Because money follows worth. The more you expand your sense of self-worth, the more wealth you allow into your life. If deep down you believe you don't deserve abundance, you'll unconsciously repel it. But when you believe you are worthy, not because of what you have, but because of who you are, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop forcing and start allowing. Belief transforms struggle into flow. You stop fighting against life and start cooperating with it. You begin to see challenges not as punishments, but as invitations to expand. And when you view the world through that lens, everything becomes feedback for your growth. Failure becomes information. Delays become preparation. And success becomes inevitable, because your inner state already matches the outcome you desire. Imagine your mind as a computer. Every limiting belief is outdated software slowing your system. Every empowering belief is a performance upgrade. You wouldn't run your business on an old, buggy system. So why run your life on outdated programming? Take time daily to debug your thoughts. Ask yourself, does this belief serve my vision or sabotage it? If it sabotages it, uninstall it. Replace it with a better one. You can reprogram your brain at any age. The science is clear. Your neural pathways are plastic, always adapting. That means no matter how long you've been stuck, change is possible if you decide to take control of your inner world. The transformation begins the moment you say, enough, I choose new beliefs. Because belief is not just an idea, it's an energy. It's the signal you send out to the universe about what you think you deserve, and the universe always mirrors that belief back to you. Change your inner signal, and your outer world rearranges itself to match it. So, the next time you doubt yourself, pause and remember this. Belief built every fortune, every breakthrough, every revolution in human history. What you believe about yourself right now is shaping your future in ways you can't yet see. But one day, you will look back and realize that the moment you chose to believe differently, that was the moment everything began to change. Topic 3. Rewiring your thoughts for prosperity and abundance. Your thoughts are electric. Every single one sends a signal into the universe, attracting similar frequencies back to you. Think of your mind as a transmitter. Whatever you broadcast consistently becomes the reality you receive. This isn't mystical. It's psychological and energetic truth. Prosperity doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. And the design begins with the thoughts you allow to live rent-free in your mind. Most people never question their thoughts. They believe every idea that passes through their head, never realizing that many of those thoughts were inherited from parents, culture, or past pain. But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the creator, the one with the power to rewire them. Once you realize that your thoughts are not facts, you gain the freedom to choose which ones deserve your energy. If your mind constantly says, "I'll never get ahead," or "money is hard to make," it's not describing reality. It's creating it. Thoughts are instructions to the subconscious, and the subconscious executes them without question. That's why rich people and poor people often live in the same world, but experience entirely different realities. They don't live in different economies. They live in different mental economies. The rewiring process begins when you become conscious of your internal dialogue. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice the ones that pull you toward abundance and the ones that drain your energy. When you catch a negative thought, pause and redirect it. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "I don't have enough" with "I'm attracting more every day." This is how you start creating new neural circuits, one conscious thought at a time. Neuroscience calls this process neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections. Every time you repeat a positive, empowering thought, you strengthen new neural pathways. Every time you focus on gratitude instead of fear, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that reinforce feelings of safety, creativity, and abundance. Over time, your dominant emotions shift. You stop reacting from survival and start creating from inspiration. Think about how successful entrepreneurs and millionaires operate. They don't allow fear-based thinking to control them. When challenges appear, they don't ask, "What if I fail?" They ask, "What can I learn?" This mental flexibility is the difference between stagnation and growth. Elon Musk once said, "Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up." That mindset isn't natural. It's trained. It's the product of constant mental conditioning. You can train your mind in the same way. One of the most effective techniques is mental rehearsal. Every morning, take a few minutes to imagine yourself already living the reality you desire. Feel the gratitude, the calm confidence, the sense of accomplishment. Visualize your future self handling life with grace, generosity, and wisdom. The brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and experience. It simply records the emotional data you feed it. When you practice abundance mentally, your subconscious begins working to make it tangible. Now, here's something fascinating. Your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, acts like a filter, determining what information you notice in your environment. When you consistently think about growth, prosperity, and solutions, your RAS begins highlighting opportunities that match those ideas. Suddenly, you coincidentally meet the right people, notice the right business openings, or get inspired with ideas that change your life. It's not coincidence, it's focus. What you look for expands. But rewiring your mind requires consistency. You can't affirm abundance for 5 minutes and complain for the rest of the day. The mind believes what it hears most often. If you want prosperity to become your default frequency, you must repeat abundance-based thoughts until they become automatic. This is why many self-made millionaires have morning rituals: gratitude journaling, visualization, affirmations, and meditation. They're not random habits. They're deliberate rewiring tools. Take Warren Buffett, for example. He reads for hours every day, not to escape reality, but to shape it. He feeds his mind with information that sharpens his intuition and reinforces his beliefs in long-term value creation. The same goes for Oprah Winfrey, who credits her success to daily gratitude practice. She once said, "The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate." That's not poetry, it's neuropsychology. Gratitude literally rewires your brain for joy, which in turn attracts more experiences that match that frequency. To build a prosperous mindset, you must also detox your mental environment. That means distancing yourself from conversations, media, and people that reinforce limitation. Every word you hear and every emotion you feel becomes a potential neural imprint. Protect your focus. Consume ideas that elevate you. Surround yourself with people who talk about solutions, not problems. You'll notice something extraordinary when you start doing this. Your energy changes. You'll feel lighter, more focused, more in control. You'll stop obsessing over what you lack and start noticing how much you already have. That emotional shift opens the door to creativity, and creativity is the real currency of prosperity. When your mind is clear and inspired, you become a magnet for opportunities. Still, rewiring isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing a more empowering interpretation of your reality. Life will challenge you, financially, emotionally, spiritually. But the way you interpret those challenges determines whether they break you or build you. A prosperous mindset doesn't deny problems. It transforms them into growth. Every time you overcome a fear, you strengthen your mental wealth. Every time you respond with patience instead of panic, you rewire your nervous system for resilience. Every time you focus on gratitude instead of lack, you send a signal to the universe: I am ready for more. And that's when abundance begins to flow. Because the universe doesn't reward desperation, it responds to coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with the frequency of prosperity, you naturally attract the people, opportunities, and ideas that match it. It's not magic, it's alignment. So, start today. Take one negative thought you've carried for years and rewrite it. Catch yourself when you complain and shift it to appreciation. Speak abundance, even before you see it. Feel rich in your energy before you become rich in your bank account. You are the programmer of your mind. Every word is a command, every belief a blueprint. Prosperity is not out there, it's inside you, waiting for permission to unfold. Give it that permission now, and you'll begin to see that the real transformation doesn't happen when life changes. It happens when you do. Topic 4. Emotional Mastery. How to stay in the prosperity frequency. The mind may create success, but emotions sustain it. You can have the perfect plan, the right mindset, and even the best opportunities. But if you can't regulate your emotions, everything collapses. Emotional mastery is the bridge between what you know and what you manifest. It's the art of staying aligned with prosperity even when life shakes you. Think about it. Every major decision in your life was influenced by emotion. People don't quit jobs because of logic. They quit because of frustration, fear, or exhaustion. Investors don't lose millions because of a lack of knowledge. They lose it because of panic. Relationships don't fail because love disappears. They fail because anger or insecurity take control. Emotion is energy in motion, and if you don't master it, it masters you. Successful people aren't emotionless. They're emotionally intelligent. They know how to feel deeply without being controlled by those feelings. When a challenge hits, they don't collapse. They breathe, analyze, and respond. They've trained their nervous systems to stay calm under pressure. That composure isn't natural. It's cultivated. It's a discipline that transforms ordinary minds into extraordinary ones. Emotional mastery starts with awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to notice. Every time you feel anxious, angry, or fearful, stop and observe it. Don't suppress it, and don't dramatize it. Just notice it. Where in your body do you feel it? What triggered it? What story are you telling yourself about it? Awareness creates distance, and distance gives you power. Instead of being in the emotion, you start to observe it. That small shift changes everything. Because emotions are feedback. They tell you what frequency you're currently tuned to. Fear means you're focusing on lack. Gratitude means you're aligned with abundance. Jealousy means you're seeing someone else's success as proof of your limitation instead of your potential. When you learn to interpret emotions as signals instead of judgments, you begin to master your inner frequency. This is how you stay in the prosperity vibration, by choosing your emotional state intentionally. That doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending to be happy when you're not. It means regulating your energy so that negative emotions don't dominate your system. Gratitude, mindfulness, and self-reflection are not spiritual cliches. They are emotional technologies. Each time you pause, breathe, and reframe your reaction, you're rewiring your nervous system for calm and control. There's a reason why some of the world's most successful people, athletes, CEOs, artists, practice meditation or mindfulness daily. They understand that emotional chaos blocks creativity, intuition, and flow. When you're anxious, your brain narrows its focus to survival. It literally can't see solutions. But when you're calm and centered, your mind expands. You see patterns, ideas, and possibilities that others miss. Emotional mastery unlocks the full capacity of your intelligence. Warren Buffett once said, "If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your money." He wasn't exaggerating. The prosperity frequency requires stability. When markets fall, most people panic and sell. But emotionally intelligent investors stay calm and buy. Their wealth grows because their emotions don't sabotage their strategy. That same principle applies to every area of life. You can't attract abundance while operating in fear. Fear constricts. Gratitude expands. Every time you choose gratitude in the face of uncertainty, you're telling the universe, "I trust the process." That vibration invites more good into your life. Gratitude is the highest emotional frequency of prosperity. It opens doors logic could never open. One of the simplest yet most profound habits for emotional mastery is the pause. When something triggers you, before reacting, pause, breathe, ask, "What is this emotion trying to teach me?" Maybe it's asking you to set boundaries, to rest, to refocus. Emotions are not enemies, they're messages. The problem is not that we feel too much, it's that we don't listen deeply enough. Remember, emotions are contagious. Spend time around angry or fearful people, and your nervous system will mirror theirs. Surround yourself with calm, optimistic, grounded individuals, and you'll rise to their frequency. Your emotional environment shapes your inner state. Guard it carefully. You cannot grow prosperity in a field of negativity. Emotional mastery also means learning the balance between surrender and control. Prosperity flows to those who trust, not those who force. You don't control every event in your life, but you control the meaning you assign to it. That's where your freedom lies. You can interpret a challenge as proof that you're failing, or as confirmation that you're being prepared for something greater. The event is neutral. Your interpretation gives it power. Here's the truth. Most people never learn. Prosperity isn't about avoiding emotional storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. You will feel fear. You will feel doubt. You will face moments where nothing makes sense. But if you stay emotionally centered, anchored in gratitude, faith, and clarity, you will always find your way back to flow. In the world of abundance, calm is power. The more peaceful you become, the more magnetic you are. Prosperity isn't loud or frantic. It's balanced, steady, intentional. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows they can handle whatever comes. So, train yourself daily. Notice your emotional triggers. Practice gratitude like it's oxygen. Breathe deeply when chaos appears. Choose thoughts that bring peace instead of panic. Because the frequency of prosperity is not found in striving. It's found in alignment. And once you master your emotions, you stop chasing success. Because success starts chasing you. Topic 5. Minimalism and mental clarity. Why less creates more prosperity? In a world obsessed with more goals, more possessions, more noise, the secret to true prosperity is surprisingly simple. Less. Minimalism is not about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's the art of creating space to think, to feel, to focus, and to grow. When your mind is cluttered, your energy is divided. When your life is simplified, your power multiplies. Every successful person eventually learns this truth. Clarity is the foundation of abundance. Without clarity, effort is wasted. You can work hard, run fast, stay busy, and still go nowhere, because movement without direction is chaos. The wealthiest minds in history have understood this principle. Steve Jobs, for example, was a minimalist not only in design, but in thinking. His life and work revolved around one question: what truly matters? That single question shaped Apple into one of the most prosperous companies on the planet. The same applies to your life. When you eliminate distractions, you reclaim your energy. When you stop chasing everything, you finally have the strength to focus on what brings real results. Minimalism in the external world mirrors minimalism in the mind. It's not about owning less, it's about needing less. Because when you no longer seek validation or accumulation, you free yourself from the endless treadmill of more. And that's when abundance begins to flow naturally. Think about your thoughts like tabs on a browser. Every open tab consumes energy, even when you're not actively using it. Most people have dozens open, unfinished goals, emotional baggage, what-ifs, and constant comparisons. The result? Mental fatigue, anxiety, and indecision. But when you close the unnecessary tabs, when you say no to what doesn't serve you, you restore processing power to what matters most. Focus is your greatest financial asset. The minimalist mindset teaches that wealth is not measured by what you possess, but by how lightly you can move through life. True prosperity is having peace, not pressure, freedom, not excess. Many millionaires eventually realize this after chasing luxury. It's not the objects that make you rich. It's the calm confidence that you no longer need them to feel complete. Warren Buffett still lives in the same modest home he bought in 1958. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same style of clothing every day to avoid decision fatigue. These aren't random choices. They are strategies to protect mental bandwidth. Every unnecessary decision drains willpower, the same resource you need to create wealth, innovate, and lead. By simplifying their lives, they multiply their results. But minimalism isn't just about material possessions. It's about emotional and energetic decluttering. Let go of toxic relationships that drain your energy. Release habits that no longer serve your evolution. Stop trying to please everyone. Every no to something misaligned is a yes to your higher potential. Prosperity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters with unwavering focus. There's also a deeper spiritual dimension to minimalism. When you release excess, you signal to the universe that you trust abundance. You no longer cling out of fear of loss. You move with faith that more will always come when needed. This detachment raises your vibration, allowing prosperity to find you with ease. It's no coincidence that the word affluence comes from the Latin affluere, meaning to flow. Abundance flows to the uncluttered mind, not the chaotic one. Minimalism also invites stillness, and stillness is the birthplace of wisdom. When your life isn't overflowing with distractions, you start hearing your intuition again. You begin to notice synchronicities, inner guidance, and creative ideas that were drowned out by noise. Many of the world's greatest breakthroughs came in moments of quiet reflection, not frantic action. Einstein, Tesla, and Newton all valued solitude because it allowed their thoughts to crystallize. The same applies to your prosperity. Silence sharpens clarity. Ask yourself, what in my life is stealing energy but giving little in return? It might be clutter in your home, endless scrolling on social media, or emotional drama that keeps you stuck. Identify those leaks and seal them. Every bit of energy you reclaim can be reinvested into growth, creation, and purpose. That's how minimalism transforms into wealth, not by cutting out joy, but by cutting out noise. And here's the paradox. The less you chase, the more you attract. When you stop chasing money, you start magnetizing it. When you stop begging for opportunities, you start creating them. Prosperity loves calm confidence. It avoids desperation. Minimalism restores that balance. It reminds you that you already are enough, and from that place of wholeness, abundance multiplies. Neuroscience backs this up. When your environment is cluttered, your brain's prefrontal cortex becomes overwhelmed, reducing focus and creativity. When you simplify, cognitive clarity increases, decision-making sharpens, and motivation strengthens. This is why minimalist spaces, clean desks, calm homes, organized finances are not aesthetic trends, but productivity tools. They free the mind to think big. Minimalism also allows gratitude to bloom. When you stop constantly reaching for the next thing, you start appreciating what you already have. Gratitude anchors you in the present, which is the true vibration of abundance. It shifts your focus from scarcity to sufficiency. You stop living in someday and start living in now. And now is where prosperity is born. So, start small. Clean a drawer. Cancel an obligation that drains you. Delete what doesn't serve your growth, physically, mentally, emotionally. Feel the lightness that follows. Each act of simplification is a declaration. I choose clarity. I choose peace. I choose abundance. Minimalism isn't a trend. It's a spiritual principle dressed in practicality. It's the realization that prosperity was never about adding more, but about removing what blocks the flow. When your mind is clear, your heart is calm, and your energy is focused, success becomes effortless. Because abundance doesn't come to those who chase. It comes to those who make space for it. The truth is, less is not the opposite of more. It's the path to it. When you simplify your thoughts, your actions, and your surroundings, you align with the natural rhythm of abundance. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop surviving and start thriving. And in that simplicity, you discover something profound. You already have everything you need to create a life of prosperity, freedom, and peace. You just have to let go of everything that isn't it. Topic 6. The Prosperity Habit. Loop. Daily actions that rewire wealth thinking. Habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny. You can have all the ambition, intelligence, and dreams in the world, but if your daily habits contradict your goals, you'll always stay stuck in the same cycle. Success isn't built in bursts of inspiration. It's built in the quiet repetition of empowering actions that shape your identity over time. Prosperity is not a lucky accident. It's a pattern. Think about it. Your habits form your results because they reflect your mindset. If you wake up complaining, check your phone immediately, rush into the day with anxiety, and consume negativity before breakfast, your brain is already wired for scarcity before the day even starts. But if you begin your morning with gratitude, intention, and focus, you set your mind to the frequency of abundance. That's the prosperity habit loop, a cycle of thoughts, emotions, and actions that reinforce each other until success becomes automatic. Neuroscience tells us that habits are formed in the basal ganglia, the part of the brain responsible for automatic behavior. Once an action becomes habitual, it consumes almost no mental energy. It becomes effortless. That's both the problem and the solution. If your habits are rooted in scarcity, fear, procrastination, disorganization, you're unconsciously programming yourself to fail. But if you deliberately build habits that mirror prosperity, discipline, gratitude, vision, you begin to rewire your mind to attract wealth naturally. Let's look at what prosperous people do differently. They design their days with intention. Most millionaires have a morning ritual that aligns their emotions and focus before the world's noise begins. Some meditate, some read, some exercise or write down goals. The form doesn't matter, the consistency does. Because repetition builds identity. You can't just think wealthy, you must act wealthy every single day, long before your bank account reflects it. Consider the story of Jim Carrey. Before fame, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it for a future year, and carried it in his wallet until it became reality. That act wasn't superstition, it was a habit of faith, a ritual of belief. Every day he reinforced the mindset of abundance. He didn't wait to feel successful, he practiced it. That's the prosperity habit loop in action. Thought creates feeling, feeling creates action, and repeated action reprograms thought. The cycle feeds itself until prosperity becomes your new normal. To build your own prosperity loop, start small. Choose one daily habit that reflects the mindset of your future self. Maybe it's writing 3 things you're grateful for each morning. Maybe it's reading 10 minutes of an inspiring book. Maybe it's reviewing your goals while imagining them already achieved. These aren't random exercises. They're neural conditioning. Each repetition strengthens the mental pathways of success. But don't underestimate the power of elimination. Habits that drain your focus are as destructive as positive ones are powerful. Scrolling aimlessly, complaining, gossiping, comparing. These are scarcity loops. They reinforce feelings of lack and unworthiness. Every time you engage in them, you feed the energy of limitation. Breaking these loops requires awareness and substitution. When the urge arises, pause and replace it with a higher frequency action, something that nourishes instead of numbs. The prosperity habit loop works because it aligns your mind, emotions, and body into coherence. When you act in harmony with what you desire, you stop sending mixed signals to the universe. Your behavior confirms your belief. And once your belief matches your behavior, manifestation accelerates. It's not magic, it's psychology and physics. You're literally tuning yourself to the vibration of success. Think of your habits as the software that runs your life. Every routine is a line of code. If your system is filled with outdated programming, fear, doubt, chaos, it's time for an upgrade. The key is consistency, not perfection. Missing a day doesn't ruin the loop, but quitting does. What matters is momentum. Even small daily actions compound over time. That's the mathematics of success. Tiny, aligned actions repeated thousands of times create massive transformation. Take Warren Buffett's reading habit. He spends 5 to 6 hours a day reading. That habit didn't just make him smarter, it rewired his perception of risk, time, and value. Or consider Oprah Winfrey's daily gratitude practice. She has kept a gratitude journal for decades, writing 5 things she's thankful for each day. It's not the writing itself that made her abundant. It's the mindset of appreciation that continually expanded her prosperity frequency. Here's a formula worth memorizing. Repetition plus emotion equal identity. When you repeatedly act in alignment with the mindset of success, and you do it with emotional conviction, your brain begins to identify with that version of yourself. Eventually, you stop trying to be prosperous. You simply are. This is how the wealthy think, move, and live. Their actions are no longer forced. They are expressions of who they've become. But there's a hidden secret inside the prosperity loop: celebration. Most people rush past their wins, always chasing the next goal. But celebrating progress, even the smallest victories, releases dopamine, reinforcing positive behavior. Your brain learns that success feels good and wants to repeat it. Each small acknowledgement of progress becomes emotional fuel for future achievements. Prosperous minds understand this and celebrate intentionally. Another key component is reflection. Every evening, ask yourself, did my actions today reflect abundance or scarcity? Don't judge, just observe. Awareness refines your alignment. Over time, you'll notice how your days begin to flow with ease. You'll wake up excited, make clearer decisions, and attract opportunities almost effortlessly. That's not coincidence. It's the compound interest of your habits working behind the scenes. The prosperity habit loop is proof that success isn't about massive leaps. It's about small, conscious steps taken repeatedly with belief and consistency. Every morning you rise early to visualize your goals. Every time you practice gratitude instead of frustration. Every moment you choose discipline over distraction. You're casting a vote for your prosperous identity. Eventually, the loop becomes self-sustaining. You no longer force discipline, it becomes your rhythm. You no longer need motivation, you live in alignment. Prosperity stops being something you chase and becomes something you embody. Remember this, your habits are not just shaping your days, they're shaping your destiny. If you want to change your life, change what you do daily. Because your future is built one routine at a time. The question isn't whether you have habits, the question is whether your habits have you. Build the prosperity habit loop, and you'll discover that success was never a finish line. It was a rhythm waiting to be remembered. Topic 7. The Science of Gratitude. How Appreciation Expands Prosperity. Gratitude is not just a spiritual practice or a feel-good exercise, it's a science. It's one of the most powerful emotional frequencies that exist, capable of reprogramming your mind, rewiring your brain, and magnetizing abundance in ways logic alone could never explain. Gratitude is the frequency of prosperity itself. When you live in gratitude, you're telling the universe, I already have enough. And because energy attracts its own kind, more enough comes your way. Most people misunderstand gratitude. They think it's something to feel after success arrives. But the truth is reversed. Gratitude creates success. You don't wait until you're prosperous to be grateful. You become grateful first, and prosperity follows. Neuroscience and quantum physics both confirm what ancient wisdom has said for centuries. Your emotional state determines your reality. When you vibrate gratitude, your brain and your environment begin to reorganize around abundance. The brain cannot hold fear and gratitude at the same time. These two frequencies are biologically incompatible. Fear activates the amygdala, triggering survival responses: fight, flight, or freeze. Gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex, increasing clarity, empathy, and creativity. In that elevated state, your nervous system calms, your decision-making sharpens, and your energy field expands. You stop reacting from scarcity and start creating from stability. That's why gratitude is the ultimate prosperity practice. It moves you out of survival and into flow. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when people practice gratitude consistently, their brain waves shift into coherence, synchronizing heart and mind into a unified rhythm. In that state, the body releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which reinforce feelings of joy, confidence, and peace. You literally begin to feel rich, even before money appears. And as that feeling becomes familiar, it rewires your subconscious to expect abundance as normal. Gratitude changes your emotional set point from "I need more" to "I am enough." Consider how many wealthy individuals emphasize gratitude as a daily ritual. Oprah Winfrey famously said, "If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have, you'll never have enough." She credits her gratitude journal as one of the main tools that shifted her from poverty to global influence. Every night, she wrote down 5 things she was thankful for. Simple things, like a good meal, a conversation, or a sunset. That habit rewired her focus from lack to abundance, training her mind to find blessings instead of problems. Gratitude changes perception, and perception changes everything. When you start appreciating what you already have, you begin to see value in things you used to ignore. You become resourceful instead of resentful. Opportunities that once seemed invisible start showing up everywhere. Why? Because your mind is now tuned to abundance, not absence. The same principle applies to money. When you're grateful for the money you already have, even if it's little, you create energetic room for more. But when you resent your financial situation, you repel prosperity by broadcasting a signal of dissatisfaction. Gratitude is not passive acceptance, it's active creation. It doesn't mean ignoring challenges, it means finding purpose within them. When you face a setback, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" That shift in focus transforms struggle into strength. The most resilient people on earth are those who practice gratitude even in difficulty. They see every experience as a teacher, every delay as protection, every obstacle as a step toward evolution. Gratitude turns pain into power. You can start rewiring your brain for prosperity through small, consistent gratitude rituals. Each morning, before checking your phone or thinking about your to-do list, pause and name 3 things you're thankful for. Feel it deeply. Don't just say the words. The emotion is what reprograms your subconscious. If you can maintain that feeling for even a minute, you're already shifting your vibrational frequency. Over time, this becomes your default state: calm, confident, open to opportunity. Another powerful technique is future gratitude. Instead of only giving thanks for what you already have, give thanks for what's on its way. Say, "I'm grateful for the opportunities coming to me. I'm grateful for the prosperity aligning in my life." This tells your subconscious that abundance is inevitable, not distant. You're rehearsing your future in advance, training your mind to expect success. As quantum physics suggests, your expectation collapses probability into reality. What you believe becomes what you experience. Even science-backed studies agree. Gratitude boosts performance, health, and happiness. According to research from Harvard Medical School, people who keep a gratitude journal experience greater optimism, stronger immune systems, and higher levels of energy. The simple act of focusing on blessings instead of burdens rewires your entire physiology for well-being. And well-being is the foundation of sustainable success. The beauty of gratitude is its accessibility. You don't need wealth, status, or luck to practice it. You can start right now, in this very moment, by appreciating something simple: the warmth of your coffee, the breath in your lungs, the opportunity to learn. Gratitude doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates them. And here's the secret few realize: gratitude multiplies through expression. The more you share it, the stronger it becomes. Express thanks to people around you. Acknowledge their effort, kindness, or presence. Gratitude creates connection, and connection creates opportunities. Prosperity flows in networks of appreciation. When you give, you amplify the cycle. In leadership and business, gratitude is a strategic advantage. Teams perform better under leaders who express appreciation. Clients stay loyal to professionals who value them. Gratitude elevates culture. It transforms competition into collaboration. This is why truly prosperous individuals are generous. They understand that appreciation expands both emotionally and materially. But gratitude is also deeply personal. It grounds you when things seem uncertain. It reminds you that abundance isn't about accumulation. It's about awareness. Gratitude dissolves fear because it proves again and again that you are already supported. It reconnects you to life's natural rhythm: give, receive, grow, repeat. So, if you want to expand prosperity in your life, start with gratitude. Not someday, not when everything is perfect, but now. Because every time you give thanks, you're broadcasting a signal to the universe that says, "I am ready for more." And the universe always responds to that vibration. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency. And once you learn to live in that frequency, prosperity stops being something you chase and becomes something you simply attract. Topic 8. Energy, vibration, and the quantum field of prosperity. Everything in the universe is energy, including you. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak, and every action you take emits a frequency. That frequency interacts with the energetic fabric of the universe, what many call the quantum field. This is not mystical poetry, it's science. Quantum physics shows that at the subatomic level, everything is vibration. Matter is simply energy condensed into form. And your personal energy field, the vibration you emit through your state of being, constantly communicates with the quantum field that surrounds you. So, if everything is energy, then prosperity is not something you chase. It's something you tune into. Just like a radio station, abundance is always broadcasting. The question is, are you tuned to its frequency? Most people are not. They say they want success, but they vibrate fear. They say they want wealth, but they vibrate scarcity. They say they want love, but they vibrate doubt. The universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to frequency. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. To attract prosperity, you must align your vibration with abundance. That alignment begins with awareness, becoming conscious of your emotional state throughout the day. Every emotion you feel has a vibrational signature. Fear, shame, and anger are low-frequency emotions that constrict your energy. Gratitude, joy, confidence, and love are high-frequency emotions that expand it. When you live in elevated emotions, you become magnetic to experiences that match that energy. Dr. Joe Dispenza often says, "You can't create a new future while holding on to the emotions of the past." Those emotions, resentment, guilt, fear, anchor you to old energy patterns. To change your reality, you must first change your frequency. That means breaking emotional habits that keep you stuck in scarcity and consciously cultivating emotions that align with prosperity. Meditation, breathwork, movement, and visualization are all powerful tools to raise your vibration. Think of your mind and heart as electromagnetic transmitters. The brain sends electrical signals through thoughts, while the heart radiates an electromagnetic field through emotion. When these two systems are in coherence, when your thoughts and feelings match, your energy becomes powerful and organized. The quantum field responds to coherence. If you think abundance but feel fear, you're sending mixed signals. But when you think abundance and feel abundance, your vibration becomes pure, and the universe mirrors that energy back to you through opportunities, ideas, and synchronicities. This is why prosperity isn't only about hard work. Effort alone, when fueled by stress, creates resistance. True creation comes from alignment. When you operate from high vibration, your actions flow effortlessly. You experience what many call luck or divine timing. Things fall into place because your inner world and outer reality are synchronized. You've stopped swimming against the current. You're now moving with it. Let's bring this into real life. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract good fortune effortlessly? They're not necessarily smarter or luckier. They're aligned. Their energy is clean. They move through life with confidence, gratitude, and ease. Their vibration communicates, "I trust life. I'm ready to receive." And the quantum field, which is responsive, intelligent, and infinite, organizes circumstances to match that energy. That's not coincidence. It's resonance. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was describing the operating system of reality. When your vibration rises, you literally access higher possibilities. Your intuition sharpens, your creativity expands, and your perception widens. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there but invisible to the lower, fear-based version of you. The process of aligning your vibration begins internally. Start each day by asking yourself, what energy do I want to embody today? If you choose peace, focus on peaceful thoughts. If you choose abundance, act with generosity. If you choose confidence, speak with conviction. Energy is contagious. Your state affects everyone and everything around you. When you raise your vibration, you don't just attract prosperity, you create an environment where prosperity can thrive. Visualization is one of the most effective tools to align with the quantum field. When you imagine yourself already living your prosperous life, feeling the emotions of gratitude, security, and joy, your brain and heart begin broadcasting that frequency now. The quantum field responds by bringing you people, events, and circumstances that match that vibration. It's like preloading the GPS of your life. You don't need to know how you'll get there. Your energy will guide the way. But maintaining this vibration requires discipline. The world constantly pulls your attention toward fear. News, social media, scarcity conversations. Protect your energy. Just as you wouldn't eat junk food every day and expect health, you can't feed your mind with negativity and expect abundance. Surround yourself with people, environments, and content that expand your energy. Another essential practice is emotional release. Prosperity cannot flow through a body filled with unresolved tension and resentment. Those emotions act like energetic blockages in your system. Cry, move, write, breathe. Whatever it takes to let them go. Every release raises your frequency. You become lighter, freer, and more receptive. Prosperity isn't something you force into your life. It's something you allow by removing internal resistance. Many self-made millionaires describe this moment of alignment as flow. It's the state where action feels effortless, ideas come naturally, and time seems to disappear. Flow is a high vibrational state of total presence. Your energy is unified. You're not thinking of failure or overanalyzing outcomes. You're simply expressing the energy of abundance in real time. That's when quantum leaps happen. It's important to understand that raising your vibration doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means changing your relationship to it. Instead of reacting to circumstances, you generate your own emotional state. You become the cause, not the effect. That's the ultimate freedom, to choose your vibration regardless of what's happening externally. And once you master that, external reality begins to reorganize itself to match your inner state. The quantum field is neutral. It mirrors what you project. If you radiate gratitude, you'll experience more to be grateful for. If you radiate fear, you'll attract situations that confirm it. You are both the sender and receiver in the energetic dance of creation. That's why self-awareness and emotional hygiene are wealth skills as essential as financial literacy. So, the next time you want to manifest prosperity, don't just visualize more money. Embody the energy of someone who already has it. How do they walk? How do they speak? How do they feel about life? Live that vibration today, and the universe will have no choice but to deliver experiences that resonate with it. Because prosperity isn't something outside of you. It's a frequency that's been waiting all along for you to tune in. When your energy matches abundance, you'll realize that wealth was never about accumulation. It was always about alignment. Topic 9. The Prosperity Paradox: How giving activates receiving. Here's one of the greatest truths about wealth and prosperity. A truth that most people resist because it seems to contradict logic. The more you give, the more you receive. It's a paradox that sits at the heart of every abundance philosophy, every successful business, and every fulfilled life. Giving is not loss. It's not subtraction. It's multiplication in disguise. Most people operate from a scarcity mindset. They hold on tightly to what they have, fearing there won't be enough if they share it. But scarcity doesn't come from a lack of resources. It comes from a lack of trust. Prosperous people understand that money, opportunities, and energy are all meant to circulate. When you withhold, you block the flow. When you give, you open the channel wider, and abundance flows back to you through unexpected routes. Think about the law of reciprocity. Nature is built on it. A tree gives fruit without keeping score, and in doing so, it ensures its own survival. The ocean gives water to the clouds, which return it as rain. Energy moves in cycles. What you send out returns, often multiplied. Prosperity follows the same rule. The universe is not impressed by accumulation. It responds to circulation. The wealthiest individuals on Earth have always understood this principle. Look at philanthropists like Andrew Carnegie, who spent his final years giving away his fortune, or Bill Gates, who pledged most of his wealth to global health initiatives. Their prosperity didn't shrink through giving. It expanded in meaning, legacy, and impact. Because giving transforms wealth from something material into something spiritual. It elevates money from a tool of survival into a force of connection. But giving doesn't always mean money. It means giving value, your time, knowledge, kindness, attention, or encouragement. When you help someone without expecting a return, you raise your energetic frequency. That act of generosity communicates abundance. I have enough to share, and the universe mirrors that energy back to you. Opportunities, clients, or even new relationships start flowing your way, not by coincidence, but by resonance. On the other hand, withholding comes from fear. When you operate from fear, you contract your energy. You vibrate lack, and the universe reflects that. Have you noticed how people who are constantly afraid to lose money often find themselves in situations that confirm that fear? Or how people who give freely, who trust that more will come, always seem to have enough? That's not luck. It's the energetic mathematics of life. This paradox also applies to creativity. Writers, artists, entrepreneurs, those who share their work abundantly attract more ideas, collaborations, and recognition. When you create and give, you enter flow. When you hoard your talents out of fear of criticism or rejection, you block inspiration. Prosperity lives in motion. You can't receive new energy while clinging to old energy. The act of giving also rewires your brain. Neuroscientific studies show that generosity activates the brain's reward centers, releasing dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals responsible for happiness and connection. This creates what psychologists call a helper's high. The more you give, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the higher your vibration, attracting even more abundance. It's important to note that true giving must come from authenticity, not manipulation. You can't give with the hidden intention of, "I'll get something back." That energy cancels the flow. Real generosity is detached from outcome. You give because you are abundant, not because you're trying to get abundance. And ironically, it's that detachment, that sense of fullness, that magnetizes prosperity faster than any strategy could. Giving also breaks the ego's illusion of separation. When you contribute to others' well-being, you dissolve the idea that prosperity is a competition. You realize that someone else's success doesn't threaten yours. It validates it. The world is not a pie with limited slices. It's an ever-expanding bakery. The more value you give, the more the collective grows, and the more opportunities come back to you. If you want to activate prosperity right now, practice generosity daily. Tip a little extra, compliment a stranger, share your knowledge freely, help someone without being asked. These simple acts keep your energy in motion. They remind your subconscious that you are not lacking, you are overflowing. You'll notice something magical. The more you give, the lighter you feel. The more you contribute, the richer your life becomes. Not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Because true wealth is not how much you keep. It's how much you circulate through love, service, and impact. That's the prosperity paradox. You can't outgive the universe. The more you pour out, the more it pours back in, often in ways you never expected. So don't wait until you're rich to start giving. Start giving now, in the way you can. Because every act of generosity is a signal that says, I trust in abundance. And that signal is the key that unlocks the flow of prosperity in every area of your life. Topic 10. The Prosperity Code. Becoming the source of abundance. Everything you've learned up to this point leads to one profound truth. Prosperity isn't something you pursue. It's something you become. The final step in building a successful mindset and achieving lasting prosperity is realizing that you are not separate from abundance. You are the source of it. Once you understand this, life transforms. You stop chasing opportunities and start creating them. You stop asking for blessings and start being the blessing. The true prosperity code is not hidden in books, secrets, or strategies. It's encoded in your consciousness. It's the realization that wealth, happiness, creativity, and peace flow through you, not to you. Everything you desire already exists as potential energy in the quantum field, waiting for your belief, gratitude, and aligned action to activate it. Prosperity is not a reward for hard work alone. It's a reflection of your inner alignment with possibility. When you wake up each day feeling grateful, inspired, and capable, you emit a vibration that reshapes your reality. You start noticing connections that once went unseen. People respond differently to you. Synchronicities appear. What used to feel difficult now flows naturally. You are no longer pushing against life. You're in rhythm with it. That is the prosperity code in action. Living from the inside out, not the outside in. And the shift is subtle, but life-changing. Scarcity says, I'll be happy when I succeed. Prosperity says, I succeed because I'm already happy. Scarcity waits for permission. Prosperity takes initiative. Scarcity reacts. Prosperity creates. Once you embody this frequency, your outer world begins to mirror it back. Relationships deepen, ideas expand, finances stabilize, and peace becomes your default setting. True abundance isn't measured in possessions, titles, or numbers. It's measured in the depth of your peace and the impact of your presence. The wealthiest person isn't the one with the most money. It's the one who wakes up with purpose, serves others with love, and ends the day with gratitude. The more aligned you are with that state, the more life responds with opportunities that match your energy. When you become the source of abundance, generosity becomes natural. You no longer give to impress or to get something back. You give because it's your nature. You radiate confidence, empathy, and clarity. People are drawn to your energy because it feels rare, peaceful, and real. That's what true prosperity looks like. Not excess, but essence. Many of history's most influential figures discovered this inner code. Nelson Mandela, after decades in prison, emerged with compassion instead of bitterness. A man who chose contribution over revenge. He embodied abundance of spirit. Similarly, great leaders, entrepreneurs, and thinkers understand that prosperity is not about taking more. It's about becoming more. More aware, more generous, more creative, more connected. To live the prosperity code is to wake up each morning and ask, how can I add value today? It's realizing that your energy is your currency and that every thought, every action, every word is either an investment in abundance or a withdrawal from it. The choice is always yours. When your energy becomes a force for good, the universe aligns in your favor because you're no longer operating from separation but from contribution. You become unstoppable when you realize that your mind creates your reality, your emotions fuel your frequency, and your actions confirm your worth. When all three align, thought, emotion, and behavior, you step into flow. Life becomes a mirror reflecting your inner harmony. And in that state, you can't help but attract prosperity because you've become its source. Remember, the prosperity code isn't something you unlock once and forget. It's a daily practice. It's gratitude in the morning, clarity during the day, reflection at night. It's choosing peace when chaos knocks. It's remembering your worth when life tests your patience. Prosperity is a lifestyle, one that starts with consciousness and manifests as results. So, take a breath right now and realize you already have everything you need. The mindset, the energy, the creativity, the potential. You are not waiting for abundance. Abundance is waiting for you. All you have to do is live in alignment with who you really are, a creator, not a spectator. When you embody that truth, prosperity stops being a destination and becomes a natural expression of your being. Because in the end, the greatest secret of the prosperity code is this: you don't find abundance, you remember it. You've had it within you all along. If this message resonated with you, if it awakened something inside, don't let the inspiration fade. Let this be your reminder that you were born to live abundantly. Like this video to reinforce your commitment to prosperity. Subscribe to the channel. Comment below one realization or mindset shift that spoke to you today. Your words might be the spark that transforms someone else's life. And share this video with a friend, colleague, or loved one who needs to hear that prosperity begins in the mind. You are part of a growing community that believes success, happiness, and abundance are not privileges. They are choices available to all who dare to align with them. Until next time, remember, the power to create wealth, peace, and purpose is already within you. Activate it, live it, and become the prosperity code.